All right, hello everyone, and welcome to Theorycrafting Thursday. This, of course, is everyone's favorite History of Boston podcast. Today, we, as always, are going to begin our day with a quote from our favorite Bostonian history figure, John Winthrop. In his famous speech, he once said, "For we must consider that we shall be as a city upon a hill. The eyes of all people are upon us, so that if we shall deal falsely with our God in this work we have undertaken, and so cause him to withdraw his present help from us, we shall be made a story and a byword through the world." And on that note, let's talk about Dota 2, shall we?
Bestow benevolence to Boston. 3
God
B's.
bless.
That's what we always say.
The 3 B's, Flub and Boston.
Yeah.
All right.
With 2 B's and then a Boston.
With 1 B. They have not graduated to 2 yet.
Boston.
The Boston.
Boston.
Anyway.
I'm from Boston. Anyway, that's how they say it.
My goal for today's episode is to not cough, and that is going to be a lofty goal. I imagine. So hopefully,
dude, you fucked it up already.
Yeah, hopefully we have some doctors that listen to .p because I kid.
I would
but,
stop at
anyway.
that one. So can we?
Yeah, let's move on. Let's how was your week at Dota, Proud?
It's been good. I've been streaming a lot. I haven't gained a lot of MMR, but the games I've played have been good. A lot of the games I've been losing are just ragers and whatever. Not a lot you can do. And then the games I've been winning have been pretty strong games. I feel like support is so fucking easy to gain MMR on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not what?
No, I mean I agree with you. Continue. Yeah.
It's I wouldn't exactly say I have a way better win rate as support, because sometimes I play support and I'm like, my carry is just so fucking stupid. There's no way I don't play carry every game for the rest of my life just to avoid that situation. But it's just I just pick support, and then sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. Whatever. I don't feel personally insulted when we lose because I could have carried that all by myself. I shouldn't have died that one time. That was the whole game. It was I did okay. We won. I did kind of bad. We lost. Whatever. So that's how I've been feeling about dudes. I won a Tree and Protector game, an Omni game, a Lich game, Sand King. Oh, dude, I played the sickest Sand King game of my fucking life. I was streaming and I was like, you know what? I tell people to pick this hero so much, I might as well try to play it once myself. And man, what a fucking good hero.
Yeah, God bless, dude. Sand King, honestly. We're not doing a Sand King combo today, and we haven't done one recently, but that hero is, we've said it many times, but that hero is so good.
The best hero in Dota 2, I swear to God.
He's never banned unless they're picking PL or something, or I don't think I've ever seen Sand King banned, actually, now that I think of it. The hero's just so good. And you can run him as a 4, as a 3, as a mid if the enemy mid's a DK, or a Pudge. The hero's so good. Anyway, I agree with you completely. Everybody knows I play almost exclusively support. And that's the only way I climb. And I've actually been on a tear in ranked on support. But I'm all about it. Anyway, my week in Dota, let's see. Like I just said, I've been gaining not gaining too much anymore. I went up 25 points from last week, but I've been having a good time. I've been practicing a lot of Rubik. And by practicing Rubik, I mean picking Rubik because I have, I don't know, probably 80 games of the hero, 90 games. And at this point, at this point, everybody knows it, but Rubik, you just have to just pick him a lot because you have to just, keep grinding out and playing against different heroes and in different matchups and learning new interactions and such and such.
You play one hero so many games and you get really good at them, but that's you just get comfortable with their 4 spells or whatever. You play Rubik, you got to get comfortable with all his spells and everyone else's spells.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I think that's why you see a lot of Rubik players are the players that either are not support mains, or they are players that, even though they're a support primarily, they have played other roles or have a high versatility just because of the nature of the hero, right? If you only play support, sure, over the course of many games, you will steal all the abilities and whatever, but you have a big advantage if, you have high versatility, or if you're a mid player and all the spells that you can steal. But maybe that's, I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel that. And
if you steal Sakuchi or you steal, Ball Lightning, you want to have a feel for how ball lightning is. You don't want to be like, okay, let's see how this goes.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to have to learn abilities as you're casting them. Or as you're as you're casting them.
As you're stealing them or whatever.
Yep. I haven't played too many games, honestly. Because I played a lot less when I was sick. Even unranked, I was just like, I don't want to
if you're not playing well,
mess up and stuff.
It's not fun.
Yeah. It doesn't feel productive. I did today, actually. I played a Phantom Assassin mid game just to test it out. Yeah. And boy, that hero, it was actually a terrible matchup. It was against an Alk. So we just traded farm. And then it was like, because normally your whole thing is like, oh, I just dagger harass, and he's like, he or she can never be in a lane. Yep. But Alk is like, hey, I'm level 6, so I don't care. But even then, like, I ended up 21-5, and like it was just so good, and like it just flows so naturally. It was one of those things that I really like doubted at first. I was like, PA mid, whatever. But then, like, after seeing it and after playing against it, especially, and now playing as it, it's just like, it's like people complain about Tidebringer harass or like Zeus Lightning Bolt harass. It's like that times 2.
Yeah, no, it's really fucking good, especially if you have a high ground horde. Like, holy shit, GG's, no issues.
Yeah, it's silly, and there's like no animation, and it gives you vision.
Yeah.
So like, it's just so good, and you're always facing the opponent pretty much, so you don't even have to have like that turnaround time. Yeah. So it's been solid. The other thing. This is not like in my week in Dota so much, but we had a very good conversation about this on stream. I think it was on stream about me building Armlet on Rubik and other supports. And during the conversation, initially it was just kind of like a joke thing that I did for fun. Like I have probably like a dozen Shadow Demon Armlet games, and many of them it was not just like I bought in the last 5 minutes. It was like we're winning, and I want to have fun, but I legitimately feel like it is, I wouldn't say a good item, but it has helped me a lot on certain supports. And yeah,
you made a legitimate point, and I was like, you know what? Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
so
that's
now,
not bad.
Yeah, so I know everybody is like scoffing or is in disgust or recoiling at this suggestion, but
open your mind.
For the sake of it, open your mind.
Let this one into your orifices, and just kind of think about it.
Okay, so here's the rationale. All right, Armlet. Let's see, how much does Armlet cost? Like what? 2370.
Yeah,
and the build-up is cheap. It gives decent stats, like just base. Like it gives you armor.
The armor is important,
and HP regen. And you don't need the damage or the attack speed, whatever. Ignore those.
Everyone's got
and then obviously, it doesn't hurt, right? But the base stats are nice. And as a support, and especially on a support like Rubik was this Armlet game and the last Armlet game that I played with you that was on stream. Or maybe it was a different support. I'm pretty sure it was Rubik. It's usually Rubik or Shadow Demon that I go Armlet on. Yeah, it was Rubik. And the rationale is, hey, I'm getting killed by getting bursted down by carries. I don't remember. Let me pull up this game and see specifically what it was. But your issue is you're getting bursted by carries. And as a support, there's not a lot of items that you're going to be building that are going to give you 500 HP. And as a support, getting that 500 HP from the Armlet and having the sustain, whether you have an urn or the fact that you're just generally not going to take too much damage, and you have the passive HP regen from your Armlet, the 500 burst HP that you're gaining is going to help you so much in these fights where you're skirting them around on the periphery, and you are now, instead of getting slowly killed by AoE damage, you can kind of say, I have 100 HP, and instead of going back, you can just toggle your Armlet, cast a couple spells, go in, go away, and then come back in with that 500 HP and such, right? Because when you think about whenever you're killing Armlet carries, like let's say you're killing a Naix or you're killing a Kunkka, you kill him by all attacking him at once. That way he can't toggle through it because there's so much damage incoming, right? Or you have dots or whatever. But if it's a Rubik with an Armlet, like you kind of tilt the enemy. Like this is something I say all the time. It's like the Slack's way of thinking where he's like, the enemy just doesn't know what to do. But the enemy is not going to commit like 3 heroes or a large string of attacks onto a support, right? generally the mindset with supports is either you ignore them and kill them last, or you kill them early with either targeted abilities or like quickly pouncing on them. Yeah, or AoE damage. And all this can be mitigated if you are good at playing around Armlet. Armlet's a very personal item, I find, kind of like Blink Dagger. Like some people just aren't comfortable with Blink Dagger. So I would say if you are an Armlet type player, like if you play a lot of Huskar and Nakes and stuff like that, try it out. Like open your mind, like Proud said very eloquently. It's honestly like it's very fun, but if you're playing Rubik, it's like, all right, I have my Blink Dagger, and I can build Ags. Sure, maybe it's not a good Ags game, or I could build 4-step. Like I already have Blink, and like I could steal Blink from AM all the time. Like maybe just have fun, or don't. Like maybe I'm ruining everybody's pubs, but it's been working for me, honestly. Like I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I've had a good success rate with it.
Oh
so,
yeah, here's the game. Yeah, it was like, so the thing about Armlet, like you said, when you think about most Armlet heroes, the way you kill them is they're like Life Stealers and Wraith Kings and Huskars that your whole team wants to focus on. Like they're heroes that are going to be in the middle of a fight. But if you think about some of the other heroes that have been successful in Armlet before, like even the Armlet Sniper that that one Korean dude played once and made a video, and it was like, holy shit. But
Envy lost it, I remember.
We've lost to an Armlet Sniper before. But it's actually not too uncommon to think about that situation, because if you are playing a hero on the outskirts, it's way harder for them to have enough damage instances happening at you that you can't toggle through it. Like even if a PA is hitting you, as long as PA doesn't crit and you have Armlet, there's really not a lot of ways she can kill you outside of just like crazy attack speed from her W. Or like a Life Stealer. A Life Stealer is really never going to kill you if you have Armlet outside of like the Echo Saber. And this game, we're against like a Spirit Breaker. Like if you toggle through the Spirit Breaker just fine, like he won't kill you. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's something to it. It's a really rare situation you're going to want this, but I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, and the other big thing about it, like you said, is when you're on the periphery of these fights, but also you're not fighting with it for the sake of offense. So you're not keeping it on for extended periods of time. So you're not really receiving the negative effects of the Armlet. Like the costs are incredibly mitigated. Like when you're toggling Armlet to survive, you have it up for that like second or two to gain the 500 HP. But then after that, like sure, you've lost like 50 HP or 100 or whatever. But that cost is totally fine. It's kind of like Armlet Kunkka. One of the reasons why it's so good, even though he doesn't build any items that even remotely give him HP regen other than
drum,
bottle,
kind of.
Drum, but even support Kunkka doesn't go drum. Yeah, so and some support Kunkkas don't even build bottle, but you're just using it in that one burst just for the damage, and that is not sustained, right? It's not like a Nakes or a Huskar, etc. So it's something interesting. Honestly, I had a good time with it, and that's really the one thing that really sticks out for my week in Dota, because I've been doing it for a while, but after that discussion with you,
maybe
I actually
too bad.
think it's legit.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's really it.
I don't want this to look like we're saying build Armlet on your support heroes. We're just saying it's not as much of a joke as you might think.
Yeah. That really is the crux of it. The other thing that's really stuck out, I guess, as usual, we'll talk about Hakuna Marana's week in Dota. We've been transitioning, as Flub spoke about on the Tuesday show. Our mid player had to leave occasionally, for better or worse. Our mid player had to leave for a variety of reasons, as people have to do on these kind of amateur teams.
He's a punk.
And Flub that too. Flub transitioned into being our mid player from our 4. Fafnir, who is formerly our official substitute, has now our 4. Debatably, I may be our 4, whatever. That's a conversation for another day. Man, maybe that should have been our segment. But
how much I hate you.
We could have had like a town hall, and we could have had like Faf and Skrunk and Flub here, and just
would have been more like a trial.
45 minutes. It definitely would have been like a trial.
More of like some fucking witch trial shit.
Yeah, and I would be
Did
like,
you take the CS at 12:13 on the game timer?
It's a literal witch hunt, except it's like I plead not guilty. Anyway, but it's been going well. We've had a good deal of good practices. There's some bumps in the road as are prone to happen.
Talking is important.
Talking is important, and that's even a team that's played together for a long time has issues with that, right? So if you're on an amateur team, this may be, we haven't talked about it in a while actually, but if you're on an amateur team, like communication is key, and it takes a while to get good communication. So like we've been playing together for like I don't even know, like 9 months, a year, 6 months at least.
If we were,
and like we're still working on communication.
If we were like a baby, like we would have been born by now.
Yeah, definitely. I actually now I wish I knew exactly how old our team is, but you and I have been playing together for a long time. Anyway, Kunamara is doing well, and we stream all our team practices, and even I streamed like our meeting that they were flaming me about. Not flaming me, but we were having our discussion on me farming too much as the 5. So like you want that kind of stuff, like come tune into our stream Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. We stream in the evenings for Kunamara practice. That's fun. All right. So for our segment today, we're going to talk about something that we've discussed, kind of a little bit here and there in other episodes. And it's something that Proud may say I have never done in my entire life. Today,
probably never.
We are going to discuss hero spamming and the pros, cons, all the dynamics surrounding hero spamming. It's a topic that is very divisive, I'd say. I imagine you'd agree, Proud.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's incredibly divisive, right? You have people that would say, so the 2 common arguments, one of which I would espouse and one of which I would kind of not be a fan
not have as your spouse.
Yeah, I would despouse. I would divorce myself from it, although I would never marry it in the first place. So, but the common argument for hero spamming is that people say if I play, God, for some reason Blitz keeps coming up in my mind because I feel like he makes this argument or has made this argument previously. Common argument is if I spam 150 games of Disruptor, I am going to, after 50 games, let's say, or after 20 games or whatever the number is, I'm going to not have to worry about playing Disruptor because I've internalized all those mechanics and all the interactions and such. And then I can just focus on getting better at the game in a holistic fashion. Whereas, and then the obvious addendum or the leap that you make from that argument is that if you are playing a variety of heroes, you're focusing on learning each hero, and you have to renew yourself on each hero, even if you've played him 10 times but haven't played him or her in the last few months. You have to focus on those little things, so you can't focus on the overall game and learning the mechanics outside of your own heroes. So some people would say that it stymies your growth to be playing a lot of heroes and vice versa.
Yeah.
So that is the basic argument. And as Proud and I kind of stated, I when I say I spam a hero, it's relative to the amount of games I play. And even then, like, I don't spam heroes. I don't think you'll find a streak where I played the same hero more than 4 times in a row, 5 times in a row.
Yeah, you played Shadow Demon like twice in a row, but I think that's just because like you played it once and then I picked it once for you.
Yeah, and you could say like we've gone on strings in like competitive matches and stuff where like I'll play 3 heroes and play those same 3 heroes in 15 games. So it's like 5 games of each.
Yeah,
but even
Wyvern,
then, like
Shadow Demon. Wyvern and Shadow Demon are like your most played heroes that I see on this on your recently played games.
Yeah. Like I'm looking here, like with that Battle Cup where I played Winter Wyvern every single game, stuff like that. But even then, like by many people's qualification, that would not be spamming a hero. But then again, like I said earlier, I play less Dota than most people. I play very deliberate like games. Like I pay a lot of attention when I do play. But Proud, you're more of a fan of spamming, whether through I don't know. You could talk about the topic. I won't put words in your mouth.
Yeah, well, okay. So thank you for once that you're not trying to dominate the words. So I don't spam anymore. I used to spam Lone Druid when he first started getting good. Or not started, but when he was good, like around when he was like first pick, like around Frankfurt and the patch after that or whatever, like I was all about that shit. I will first pick Lone Druid every fucking day. I'll play him in any fucking lane. You give me a fucking game, I'll play a goddamn Lone Druid in it. But I don't know. That was mostly just because I play a lot of Lone Druid, and for once I could pick it without my team raging at me. But I spammed Juggernaut a little bit. My build was really good, but I wouldn't really say that I spammed outside of like those 2 situations. Would you? Would you say that I do?
No.
I don't know.
I see. again, this kind of comes down to what you define as spamming. But I wouldn't say spam heroes, but you definitely get in like
I get a
moods.
collection.
Yeah, you get a collection. That's a good way to do it. Kind of like we were talking about me, where like I'll go like 15 games and only play 3 heroes, which, you know, it's not like playing 15 games of one hero, but still I'm playing the same few heroes over and over. You get like that, I feel like right now, like you play a ton of PA and you've always played like a lot of Juggernaut and stuff like that. And so you may not be intentionally playing that 20 games in a row, but a significant number out of those 20 games you may play would be
I would say,
select few heroes.
I want to say it like this, like I have like an algorithm to my hero picks. Like if I have to first pick a carry, I'll probably first pick Sven because he fits almost any situation pretty well. If I have to, you know, like so on and so forth. Like if Slark is banned, I will pick PA. If they pick Kunkka, I will pick Jug. Shit like that. So like I wouldn't say I spam so much as I have like a set few heroes that like are gonna fit into like a thought process on what I'm going to pick, and it's more or less always going to be those heroes, and I think that's totally fine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like I'm getting away from the point of this segment a little bit, buddy.
No, I mean it makes sense. Like because you can spam for different reasons, and again, like to different qualifications. Where do you fall on the argument about whether spamming is good or bad for overall growth? And I know, like, I think both of us are the kind of people that we want to overqualify questions, but if you just had to make like a blanket statement, which is very dangerous to make, so that's what makes you make it.
I would actually say it's not good. I think there is a lot of value when you're first starting out, like Blitz said, or like you said, Blitz said. I don't know. I'm not gonna fucking say that you're right. Like after you play a hero enough times, you can actually focus on the game of Dota. But I feel like Dota is just so complex, and this is obvious. Like this isn't, you know, me being like, guys, Dota is really complex. I don't know if you're aware of that, but like a game of Dota on one hero is drastically different from a game of Dota on another hero, and that kind of plays into what Blitz is saying with that statement. But at the same time, it kind of doesn't. Like, yeah, you get better at Dota, you know, overall. But like Dota, it's kind of similar to how like a game of Dota versus a game of Dota where they're running a Huskar draft or a game of Dota where they're running a Drow draft. Like what you learned in some other game of Dota, like will not apply at all to that game. You know, and similarly when you're playing Huskar, what you learned playing Huskar as like the truths of Dota is not going to be true at all when you start playing support. So I don't know. It can kind of go both ways. I don't really think I say for certain I'm really sure if you have a firm grasp of how Dota works, like when you first start playing Dota 2, you know, spam one or two heroes. Don't just like pick CM a shit ton. I actually don't think CM's a good hero to spam.
I agree.
A lot of people say that. I'm like, CM's fucking hard. Like I know she just looks, I don't know, if you were to look at Dota and be like, oh, it's the poverty support, and she's like the main. She's on the front, little splash art for when the game first came out, and she's
dies a lot.
She's just a person. She dies. She helps her team for noobs. That's great. Just put her for noobs. But like, no, here's fucking hard. Play Lich.
Yeah, I'm of this is a tangent, but I'm of the opinion that CM is one of the hardest poverty supports. Largely, I think one of the big reasons, and this will be like my 2 sentences on a topic before we continue, but I feel like a lot of people put their like new learning friends on CM because she dies a lot inherently. So it's kind of like an excuse for like, oh, you have 15 deaths, but like, oh, you know, you only have 500 health at like level 5. So like that's going to happen. And it's kind of like an excuse for it. So it doesn't make people feel as bad as if they were playing like Ogre.
What a great way to make someone enjoy Dota 2. Give them the hero that will die the most.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know.
I'm sorry. That's just a shit idea. Like if you're new to Dota, play Lich and Venge.
That's what I always suggest. I teach when I've taught people. I say Lich and Venomancer because Venomancer is just fun.
Ven is great, dude. Yeah. I love Venom, and I think Venge is a really good one because like she has a stun. She helps passively. It helps when you die. Like
her ult is hard to use though.
Yeah, but that's like that can be like your curveball. You know, like the hero is super basic, and then the ult is your curveball.
Yeah, they have one skill to master.
Yeah, like what if okay, so you don't use your ulti very well. When I was playing like, shit tier Dota, I use Venge's ulti like at all. It's whatever, just let them not use their ulti well. That's fine.
That's true.
Anyway, back to spamming. So I don't think like as long as you're comfortable in Dota, like I see people who are like 6K Underlord spammers and shit. I don't think that they're getting very good at Dota 2. I think that they're good at accumulating MMR until Underlord gets, nerfed. But like if all you're trying to do is get to a certain MMR and then stay there, like spamming to get your MMR up, if you think that you belong there, or at least you just want to play higher MMR games, like that's a thing you can do. But I'm not going to be terribly impressed with your, skill as a Dota 2 player if I see all you do is, fucking pick Underlord. I mean, maybe I'll be impressed that you identified that Underlord is fucking broken as shit and that he's really good to spam. And maybe you figured out a cool way to spam him, but that's about it.
Yeah. So I think I definitely agree with Proud on almost all points, if not all points. And my basic prerogative regarding this topic is that whenever you're trying to improve at Dota, you have to pick certain things to improve at, right? And there is a time and a place to be spamming heroes, but I think, like Proud said, absolutely in the beginning of the game when you are like new, I'd say for like your first couple hundred games even, like for your first 50 to 100, you should be playing like 1 to 3 heroes. And for your first 200, you should be playing like 10. Like 10, 15. And obviously like you should have fun and like, if you want to like play games. But if you're playing seriously to like learn the game, you should be playing a suite of heroes. But at a certain point in everybody's growth as a player, you have to get that variety, the spice of life, as they say, into your hero pool, both experientially as for you as a player and just overall to like once you've not mastered, but once you've learned the basic concepts, you have to learn the nuance, right? And for an entry level Dota player, the nuance is not in what some people would say the nuance is in higher brackets. For newer players, the nuance is in interactions between spells and this spell costs X mana, and this spell does, like a lot of people with Wraith King stun, for instance. A lot of new players that I've taught and that I've played with, especially my earlier friends, they didn't realize that it did burn damage. They thought it just did like damage and stunned. And then they're like, what do you mean I died? Like he's away from me. And it's like, oh, well, it is burn damage. It's like that's not something that you're going to learn unless you play Wraith King, probably, or somebody explains it to you. So I think
how long does does it burn for? Is it like 2 seconds?
Yeah, it's only like 2 ticks or 3 ticks or something. It's
barely two ticks of So damn, when that's maxed, I didn't know that it's like 330 damage. Holy shit! I thought it was like a weak stun. Yeah, that's 330 damage once that skill's maxed. Huh. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it did burn damage. I just didn't. I thought it like burned up to like it did like 280 damage when it was maxed, but not like 330 is solid.
Yeah. And so that's like one of those perfect examples of if you're a newer to middle tier player, you're going to want to vary your hero pool and play a lot of heroes, like we discussed on the Wednesday show, all about variety. And then once you've like played all 110 or played at least like 75, let's say, because some like I still don't have games on like Arc Warden and Underlord. I've still never played, but as long as you played like the majority of heroes, I'd say, then I think you're going to hit a point where, for the sake of your Dota growth, you might want to start going back to that spamming so that you can further learn more complicated concepts, or really, I almost said the word concretify, which is not a term, but you want to go back to learning the overarching concepts and mechanics of the actual game itself and not so much the heroes. So I think basically my answer is that spamming, if I had to say blanket, I'd say spamming is bad. But I think there's a time and a place for each. And in your growth as a player, there are times to be spamming a selection of heroes. I don't think there's any time you should be playing only one hero, with the exception of like your first 50 games, maybe. And then there are times where you should be playing a lot of different heroes and varying your hero pool, or at least varying your roles, etc. So that's basically my philosophy on the topic. And there is like, if you want to gain MMR, yes, like being an Underlord spammer is a great way to gain MMR. That is 100%. If you want to gain MMR in the short term, and I maybe I shouldn't have chosen this topic for anybody that listened to the Wednesday show, because this is semi-reiterative, but you let's see. I don't know. People get it, right? Like, again, I feel like I'm being too iterative. So
spamming heroes can help you in the short term if your interest is MMR and winning pub games. Like,
yeah.
Without a doubt, removing as many variables as possible to your Dota 2 game. One of those variables can be, what am I doing? Can help like refine your play, sure. But if you have any sites for a different kind of Dota where you're trying to pick around opponents and play very smart, and maybe there's a chance you get a hero banned out, then maybe it's not the best thing for you to do.
Yeah. And again, like gaining MMR is not directly relative to gaining skill. And it definitely correlates, but it is not necessarily true. So you may gain 500 MMR being an Underlord spammer, and then if you try to play a different hero in that pool, because you inflated.
Let's say you show up to the Doppy in houses and they first ban Underlord, or it's not even in Captain's mode. You're gonna be like, shit. Turns out I haven't actually played Dota in a month.
Yeah,
because I can't play Underlord.
Yeah, and that's kind of my 2 cents. Do you have any more comments on the topic?
I don't give a fuck.
All right, cool. So that's that. I like midway through that segment, I realized, hey, I talked all about variety on the Wednesday show. Boy, whoops. Anyway. Today, we're going to be playing a combination of heroes because that's what we usually do on this show, with some exceptions. We like to have those one-off episodes where we do something fun. Today, we're going to be playing part of a strategy that we've been playing a lot of for Hakuna Marana. We're going to be running Phantom Assassin, played by Proud. Excuse me.
Okay.
And Omniknight, played by me, which is fun. We haven't played Omniknight or PA recently at all, as far as the show goes.
That's true.
And
you're just saying we should do Axe soon.
We could do that.
I mean, not today, but like soon.
Neither of us play Axe.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, PA Omni generally. So if we go over quickly the direct synergy between these heroes, right? As the Omniknight is, Omni is just a good hero in pubs. Like, everybody knows it. This is very relevant because the Slacks video came out recently, and everybody knows Slacks is like he only plays like Omni and techies and stuff like that, which again, some would say that is a testament to spamming, but I won't necessarily say that. But anyway, the strength of Omni is basically that healing is really good. And Dota Buff actually put out a really interesting infographic that was just a simple layout of the top supports in all their brackets. So you know how Dota Buff has that thing, it's like 2K, 3K, 4K, 5K, you see trends in each? Yeah, the meta section. They just put out a thing that was really interesting where it showed that in the 2K to 3K brackets, the supports were doing a lot of damage. And then in the 4K and 5K and higher brackets, supports were doing a lot of healing. And people underestimate healing a lot, I think, especially, judging just by that infographic, but also through my interactions with lower MR people underestimate how strong healing is. And I think the simplest thing that explained how good healing is to me, especially as like something that plays a lot of healing supports like Oracle and Dazzle, is that damage is inherently going to be mitigated, unless it's pure damage, of course. But magic damage is always mitigated by at least 25% on opponents. So if your ability says it does 100 damage, it's actually dealing 75 to your, whatever person you're hitting. And sometimes more if it's like a Viper or a Visage, whatever. But healing has no mitigation, right? So a heal that says 100 does 100. It's effectively like, think of it like reverse pure damage. So a ability that is like, the level 1 abilities are generally tuned to like give or take 100 with whatever, 100 healing or 100 damage. So the healing is going to outweigh the damage, right? If you're healing for 100 and somebody's damaging for a spell that is supposed to hit for 100, you're actually over healing by 25.
Yep.
And healing persists this way through the entire game. And a lot of people are going to rack up the ability to mitigate magic damage, but healing is always very strong. So that's why we see a lot of top heroes, and evidently through that infographic that I'm sure you can find anywhere on Twitter or Reddit, is that healing is just incredibly strong. It's going to mitigate more damage than the other supports are going to be doing, just through the nature of how things work. Purely mechanical.
I don't know. I would say that that's more of a testament to just, if you look at like the raw values, like a heal at an equal number to like a nuke, like A hero like Omniknight, he purifications for 360. Yeah, Omniknight's heal is going to outdo, some other heroes' nuke, but I don't know. I feel like that's just a fact of the way the numbers work, and I don't want to try to take that into any reason why healing is good. Like, that's just a numerical fact, not an actual, like, effective reason.
Well, it always kind of stood out to me. Maybe. I mean,
no, I totally agree.
Right,
like that's definitely something to think of. Like if you look at maybe you see Dazzle's healing, like, oh, that heal doesn't even do that much. But if you think of it as pure damage or pure healing, and then the cooldown effect, like, okay, actually, this Dazzle's heal is very effective on keeping people alive. Like, yeah, a heal for 140. If it was a nuke for 140, you would look at that, you say, like, that is shit. But a heal for 140 every 6 seconds is actually really good.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And it is definitely not a causation, but it is a nice little... It's something that wraps things up for me, at least a lot, as somebody that plays a lot of healing heroes. Anyway, healing is very strong just in general, right? We see high win rates, and we see a lot of success with heroes like Dazzle and Omniknight and Oracle and Wisp. And Omniknight is probably the classic pub healer, I would say. Like, people don't play Dazzle that much in pubs. But also, Omni is just like a classic pub hero. He's the 37th most played, which is surprising me. I feel like he's played even more than that. Yeah. But he's just incredibly strong. His entire kit is just wildly strong. And our team usually runs him as an offlaner, actually. We're not going to be playing offlane Omni this time. Honestly, I don't play it. I know how it works functionally, but I don't have the experience on it. And also, I've played a lot of support on it.
Like, if you get behind on offlane Omni, it can be really hard to actually, pull as much weight as an offlaner ought to. It'll really be difficult to differentiate yourself from doing what a support Omni would do.
Yeah, absolutely. And since we're referencing it, our full lineup with this team is a core of 3 heroes. We mix up the supports a bit, but it's generally offlane Omni, mid Magnus, and a safe lane PA. And we've run Shadow Demon with it before, and other like generic roaming 4s, like Ogre, we run with it a lot, if I remember correctly. Yep. So you have Bloodlust, Repel, Guardian Angel, and Empower on a PA with
I really like the Shadow Demon with it, because in the event that I do get caught in the brief time where Repel isn't on me, you can just egg me, and then Repel's up right after. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. And so the synergy that I imagine most people have figured out, but we may as well enunciate, is that PA is inherently pretty squishy, right? Everybody knows the classic counter to PA is, you do burst magic damage. And some people mitigate that by doing the Armlet PA build. That's kind of what I sussed out is the reason for that build, which is a testament to how good Armlet is on non-traditional Armlet carries. Not that I'm saying that PA Armlet's good. I definitely don't think it is.
Armlet PA is not good, but it's good enough that someone did it and they won a game with it once or twice.
I see it a shameful...
A lot of people did it, and a couple of them won a game once or twice.
I know I've beaten a number of them, but regardless, that was something that came to mind. The whole idea behind it is that PA is very committal, so you want to burst her down right away. Like, she jumps on you and you want to stun her and you want to kill her. Like my PA aim earlier, I would jump on somebody, CM would freeze me every single time, and so I had to build a BKB. But if you have an Omni on your team, who cares, right? Like, most teams don't build diffusals early. Purges are not common in heroes. Like, what purges are there? There's Invoker, which most people don't play Quaswex. There is Oracle, which
who's repelled. I'm pretty sure that you
cannot, but you can burn Guardian Angel off.
But I feel like Guardian Angel really doesn't matter that much. Like, it's a really good spell, don't get me wrong, but the Omni's ability to fuck you up just throughout the game is through repel, and then his ability to just make it unstoppable is Guardian Angel. But I
agree.
A counter to repel is way more important.
I agree with you, but at the same time, depending on your team comp, the Guardian Angel can really screw things up, especially when, like, if he has Ags, like, what do you do? Nothing.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like, Invoker is a really good counter to Omni, but even though he's a really good counter to Omni, he still actually doesn't do anything to repel.
Yeah. And you have other purges from, like, Shadow Demon is another one that comes to mind, and Diffusal, like we said earlier, is like the easiest to access.
Yeah, Diffusal.
So you can only do it once.
And Oracle is really solid too. And Brewmaster Panda, Brew Panda, like the blue panda out of Brewmaster is really good.
Also true. And Yule's, again, for Guardian Angel, not for Repel, of course.
But after, even with that, like, they're still alive for 2.5 seconds.
Yeah. Anyway, so you don't need to build BKB as early, if at all, on PA with this build. So she can have her, like, let's say your build is generally the like Phase Aki Vanguard Deso. That's what you like to do a lot of the time. And so with this, then instead of having, yeah, that's what I did actually on my mid PA game. It was very fun. And then instead of having to go BKB right away or like 2 items from then, you can just go right into doing more damage, and the Omni is going to be able to protect you and mitigate the natural weaknesses of PA, which really at the end of the day, that's what all our combos do on this show. Like over the course of most combos, it's one support or one core mitigating for the weaknesses of the other.
Yeah.
And that's what this does.
Well, and I would also say accentuating, like not only does Omni, give you the repel and the heal to keep you up, but the concept of you slow someone and then you blink strike onto them and then you're gonna be on them, and then when the purification comes out, you'll also have a 360 pure damage nuke. And PA is a hero where unless you're horribly ahead, you're never actually going to be solo killing most heroes. But if you do have a little bit extra, you can get anyone down to 20% very easily on PA. But if you add like a purification, you can kill almost any hero.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other big, like, huge thing about this is PA is like, I don't know, maybe this is a good question for you. Do you think, I would say PA is, if not the most snowball-y carry, she's
definitely the most carry that is most dependent upon snowballing, I would say. Maybe not dependent as in like, if Ursa doesn't snowball, he doesn't do shit. But as far as standard carries that can, take it late or whatever, like the carry that is hardest to stop if it's snowballing.
Very true, yeah. Like, yeah,
I mean, there's Slark, but I mean, like, I've been against plenty of Slarks and they're snowballing super hard, but then they just like make one mistake and then they're fucking dead. But then they can still win. But like it's possible to kill a Slark who's stealthing and thinks he's stealth, but he's actually not. And you see him and then you kill him. But like a PA, like, if you don't like that, MKB is very far away gold wise, no matter like if she's just jamming on your face.
Yeah, and the other thing is she propels herself and snowballs through merit of killing heroes, not killing camps, right? So Sven is a very snowball hero, but he snowballs on the opposite way, right? He doesn't snowball by killing heroes, he snowballs by farming ancient stacks. So those are two very different kinds of snowballs. So, because that was like one of the other heroes that came to mind when we discussed snowballing carries. Anyway, you play a lot of PA. I actually really like PA. I don't think like I've been loud many times saying like I don't think she's good.
She is,
yeah, but she's very fun. I like playing her, and I like it when you have a good game with her. But RNG scares me. I'm a scared boy when it comes to RNG heroes.
I understand. Yeah, there are sometimes there are some times where I'm like today I was playing PA and the game was going bad, and I was like, okay, if I blink strike in, and it's probably not going to happen, but if I just crit this guy with my first 3 hits, I can get the kill and get out. If not, I won't, and we'll just die. And I was like, fuck it, take the risk, and I lost. So that can be pretty scary, honestly. If there are other heroes that are less RNG dependent, there's probably somewhere else on the spectrum. If the game was a little safer, then that would have been a guaranteed kill instead of a like pray for it kill. So it's definitely like if there's a fight and you're like, damn, we lost. I only got 2 crits, and you're like, I hate this game. Why did we play this if my fucking game is going to come down to whether or not you crit? Like, fuck you.
My thoughts exactly. That's all I've got to say. Like my PA game earlier, it was going great, but like there were times where like I had Deso, Vanguard, Phase, Aki, and like I was killing cores. And then like a CM would come by, like Little Red Robin Hood style, and me, the wolf, couldn't get and kill her because like just didn't get a crit. Like I hit her like 6 times. She was low, but like, just never crit. Okay, cool, fun game. Whereas like any other core with my little farm would have just punched her and like, she's like, okay, you're dead now.
Yep, that's why you got to go the data list, the consistency build.
Yeah, it's legit. I used to fundamentally misunderstand that mechanic, and then like,
dude, data list is solid. That's like I always have to decide between data list or Manta on PA. I've been or MKB, but I've been whenever I can go data list, I never regret it. It's fucking good. Anyway, PA, yes. All right. So first things first, all you motherfuckers who go Vlads, like, okay. So Dota basically works by new builds get popular when a pro does it, and then people follow it. And the like latest thing is people started picking PA after QO did so well with it mid at TI on MVP or whatever. And he is really fucking good at it. And he does go Vlad's Deso. That's a thing that he does. But you need to understand is that's not what he wants to do. He hates that build. What he wants to do is he wants to go Vanguard Deso. But if you're in a mid matchup where you have to buy Poor Man's Shield, it doesn't make any sense to build Poor Man's Shield and then Vanguard. Like, that's just fucking inefficient. You spend like 500 gold on your Poor Man's Shield, and then you invalidate like most of the worth of it. And it's like a fucking slot in your inventory, and it just sucks. So, because you can't go like Poor Man's Shield and Aquila and Vanguard, like that's just too many fucking items. It's not good. It's shit. So instead, he goes Poor Man's Shield, and then the Aquila gets wrapped into the Vlads, which replaces the Vanguard, and it's a slightly more efficient build. And then you go into the Deso, and that's pretty solid. But that's only if you go Poor Man's Shield. We look at any other good PA mid who has the ability to fucking critically think. If they're in a lane where they don't have to go Poor Man's Shield, like let's say they can go Stout Shield Quelling if they're against a melee hero, not against like Invoker or a Wind Runner or some shit like that, they'll always go Vanguard. Like that's what you do. You're going to want an Abyssal at some point in this game, and there's really no reason for you to want Vlad's. Like lifesteal is not better than the healing you get from Vlad's, or than the healing you get from Vanguard from that HP regen. It's just not. And then also if you get Vanguard, you can max your W, which is really good if you're trying to snowball and you want to be teleporting around the fucking game every 5 seconds instead of like waiting a minute and a half. So stop going fucking Vanguard. Like I was playing safe lane PA and someone was like, "Oh yeah, you go in that Vanguard or that Vlad's?" I'm like, no. Why the fuck? I'm safe lane. Why would I get Vlad's? I don't have a Poor Man's Shield, but he just didn't fucking know. They didn't get it, Sam. They didn't fucking know.
Kids these days.
Fucking
Also,
idiots, dude.
Also, like late game PA Satanic is quite strong, and like now you're gonna have a Vlad's that you're gonna have to sell and like cut costs at the end of the game if you go that Satanic thing.
The Satanic is kind of weird, honestly, for me.
I'm on the fence about it.
It's like it's really good, but like the transition to late game PA after you get let's say I had like one game today where that's like what I had end up doing. Yeah, so I had Deso, Manta, Abyssal, not in that order, of course, BKB, and I had like phase boots, and I had to buy boots to travel because the game was super ratty. And I really I needed more health. Like I was dying at these fights, and my health wasn't regenerating fast enough, even with the 13 HP regen or 15 HP regen from Abyssal. At some point, I was just like, team fight would end, and I would be out of the fight. I'm like, shit, I'm out of health. Kunkka X me, I'm a TP home. And I was like almost buying a fucking heart. But like the real thing that you want is the Satanic. The Satanic is so good for you. But what I've kind of figured that you need to do is you get your travels, and then you replace one of your phase boots with either MKB or Daedalus. Like you need some damage item to replace the Deso, and then once you have 3 big damage items, then you can replace one of them with the Satanic. It does involve the selling of a Desolator, but it's way better than building a fucking Vlad's.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on that one.
Yeah, Vlad's just fucking sucks, dude. Like you only get it if you have to, and you only have to if you go Poor Man's Shield. Right. So I wanted to dispel that one real quick.
Okay. And obviously, for the sake of the show, we're just gonna pick these heroes. But what situations do you generally pick PA in?
If they have, so I mean, there's mid PA and then there's safe lane PA, right? Like that's the thing. So safe lane PA, I can pretty much pick in any game as long as they don't have Slark or a similar very good Silver Edge carrier. Also, I want to pick it when they have a hero that is very auto attack dependent, but is not at all interested in MKB, or also isn't like an armor monster. Like Sven is not good to have PA against because what does Deso do to fucking Warcry? Like goddamn nothing. And what does Dodge do? Like, yeah, Sven doesn't want to build an MKB, but the fact of the matter is, as soon as he does, you are dead. You are just this tiny fucking fly, and you are just fucking dead. Like Sven does so much goddamn damage, and even then, he can cleave and kill you without touching you. So Sven is something like you don't want someone super high armor like that. But if you're against, say, like an OD, yeah, he makes you buy BKB. But he has no interest in buying MKB. Like if you have an OD, they want their fucking Hurricane Pike and a BKB and a blink and all that shit, and like they are not interested in buying it, and they need a really good attack speed item. They're not interested in building MKB, but you kind of force that out of them. Morphling's another good one. Morphling wants stats, not MKB. So you want to pick it against heroes that do not have flexible item builds. Like Juggernaut. Juggernaut can find a place for an MKB. Clinks is going to find an MKB. Slark can go MKB and Silver Edge. Like those are the heroes you want to not pick Slark or pick PA against.
Right, so it sounds like we're banning Slark.
Yeah, that's what like if you're gonna play PA, you ban Slark. If you need to play PA, you ban Slark. And then in the mid lane, you want to match it up against these heroes that don't have a great deal of magic burst damage. Like Invoker is a really good one. Any hero that can be pressured by overwhelming force that isn't very tanky. Like Invoker is really one of the best ones to be PA against. Zeus is honestly not that bad. Mirana's good. She can get Puck is not. Because Puck can just destroy all your daggers by pressing E. Or this is a little phase shift or whatever, and that fucking sucks. But outside of that, I mean, most heroes you can do pretty well against. There are a lot of melee matchups, though, that really aren't great. You're not that good against Juggernaut. DK you
suck against.
Yeah, DK is an armor monster. Alk starts with enough health that you can't actually harass him out. Like anyone who's tanky mid, if and also if you see if they have a lot of tanky supports that you can't really threaten, like if their supports are like Ogre and Ogre and Venge or Ogre Jakiro or something like that, and you're just like, I have probably not going to kill one of these in like one dagger and then Phantom Strike combo. Maybe don't pick PA. Outside of that, I'm pretty confident picking her in most situations. That was a lot of situations I outlined, though.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, the hero is fairly specific, yet she deals a lot of different things, right? Like she has specific problems, but she deals at a variety of problems. I suppose.
She has a great deal of dynamics and elements to her. Like she's not a generic hero like Juggernaut. Like Juggernaut's pretty generic, but works
super generic
but has like has magic immunity. Has healing and isn't good against heroes that can like disappear. But outside of that, it's like it's Juggernaut. The PA, it's like it's mid against very certain things, and you want to avoid people who can break your passives, and you want to avoid people who can like immune themselves, who are good at stopping your diving and that sort of thing. Like there are definitely a number of things that PA doesn't like to be against and does like to be against.
Yeah, it sounds silly, but there's a surprising amount of variability from a hero that essentially, I'm playing against a PA or with a PA. It generally comes down to like a 1 + 1 = 2 thing, where it's like, all right, PA is going to jump me, or PA is going to jump the enemy. If she crits, he's dead. If she doesn't crit, he runs away.
Yeah, the play style is not surprising. There are some cool things like, I didn't expect her to blink away and shit like that. And like you can position really well. Like the hero is honestly very hard to play. And there's a lot of good, great nuance to it. But the fact of the matter is either you jump in or you do not.
Yeah,
that's about it. And there's a lot of like variety to it.
Man, I wish I was good at math because just in my mind I was thinking of like it's like one of those like I'm gonna say complex algebra problems, as though algebra is ever really complex.
Like,
but
what if you have to do
it's like one of those
instead of X?
Yeah, well, it's like I think about it this way. It's like when you have like one of those long problems, and then you start like working things over and removing things. Then you get down to like the second to last step where it's like just like X - 2 = 6, and then it's like, all right, it's just those two little things there. That's what the like end game of PA is. It's like, all right, you're doing all these things to get to the point where it becomes this: does she crit? Does she not crit? Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
there's
if X equals crit, hero equals dead.
There are a ton of factors to whether or not PA is going to be good in a game, but once you actually see the lineup and once you get into it, it's like it can be very simple.
Yeah, boy, man, I'm a genius or something. That was great. Anyway, let's talk about Omniknight. Omniknight, we kind of discussed. He's not like rocket science.
Let's just say the PA build real quick.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I lose almost every game I go Battle Fury these days. Dota's just not made for Battle Furies right now on PA or Jug, honestly. But yeah, you go skill build wise, you max Stagger, and then I think if you do rush the Vanguard, you can put either 1 or 2 points in Blur and then max Phantom Strike. I kind of balance it depending on what I feel like I need. If I feel like I'm tanky enough and I don't need to rely on my blur, I'll just max my Phantom Strike, assuming I get my Vanguard, because Vanguard can take care of the physical damage I'm taking early game. Blur can take care of it late game. But if I really do need the blur and I'm not trying to jump in and out that much, I can just put the 1 or 2 points in Phantom Strike and then max blur. But I normally have 2 points in each after Stifling Dagger's max, and I have my point in crit. I guess, what is that at? Like 9 or something? I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's 9. Anyway, item build wise, I start Stout, or so safe lane, I start Stout, Tango, Salve, and then I either go 2 Clarities or a Mango. I think normally 2 Clarities is the best thing to do. I'm really, really a big fan of the 2 Clarities. You can just, like, if the lane ever is hard, just, clear the wave real quick, sit back, clarity up, keep that dagger spam going. If you're really dominating the lane, you can just last hit while your clarity is going. And that is like an infinite amount of daggers you can be tossing, and then they'll never get back in lane. Like I started doing from level 1, I just nonstop spam daggers and then put my clarity on as soon as they get zoned. And then I just keep spamming daggers, and then they can just never come up and contest. And it's fantastic. So that's like the starting. And then you want to get phase boots as fast as possible. It's kind of similar to my jug. You're going to go Vanguard and Aquila. So you get your phase boots, and then if you need the Ring of Health in lane, buy the Ring of Health. If you need the mana regen from a Sage's Mask in lane, buy the Sage's Mask. And just finish like the Bassi, then the Vanguard, then the Aquila after you get your phase boots and all that. Just kind of get what you need in lane between the phase boots, the Vanguard, and the Aquila. And then after that, you go Deso, get the Blightstone in lane. You should get a Quelling Blade before any of this, by the way. But yeah, get a Blightstone, get the Deso. You got Vanguard, Deso, Aquila, phase boots, and a TP and a Quelling Blade. Sell the Quelling Blade for raindrops if you need it. And then you can decide between BKB and Abyssal. I normally go Abyssal because I'm greedy as shit, but a lot of the time BKB is the play. And then get one or the other if you don't have it. And then transition into, you can either go Manta, you can go Crit, you can go MKB, kind of whatever you need.
Right, yeah.
Man, and if you're winning super hard and they, like, let's say they build, like, Silver Edge for you or something, build a Butterfly, and then they're like, fuck! Shit! Wasn't planning on that.
Yeah, PA also has, like, the additional thing where you're forcing the enemy carry eventually to build an MKB, so you can kind of count on their item progression to be either ineffective because they don't build an MKB, or they're going to have to, like, branch off into a weird... We kind of talked about this already a bit, but they have to branch off and build that MKB eventually, so they're going to have one less item in whatever, in whatever section they decide to limit.
Yeah. Dude, if Butterfly did something besides just give evasion, it would be like the perfect PA item after you finish Abyssal and BKB. Like 60 damage, 60 attack speed. Like that's what she fucking needs, dude. Like I would need those stats. Well, I almost feel like it's worth getting, even ignoring the evasion.
You could get it. All right, so hear me out. All right, let's say you buy the Butterfly, right? You're getting effectively 60 damage.
Just use it for
60
the move
attack speed. Exactly. That's what you do. It's like, all right, they're building MKB because they're like, oh man, not only does he have blur, he also has evasion. Like, let's build 2 MKBs for the fun of it. And they build MKB, and then you're like, all right, well, now I move at 522 move speed because I'm not actually losing anything from using Flutter.
Yeah.
And then, like, PA has not a ton of getting kited problems, but she has a little bit of getting kited problems once she's used Dagger.
You blink in and you need to get out real quick before your Phantom strikes up. Like it's solid, or make enough space before you can get to the next thing you're gonna blink out to.
Yep.
I have built it not an insignificant number of times, and it's been good. But like the crit is really good, but you don't have quite enough attack speed once you go crit. Like Daedalus is very strong. Manta is good, but it's not quite enough of a damage item. Like if you get like a 40-minute Manta, that's not really what you want to be doing, but it's still really good. I don't know. PA is in a bit of a weird place as far as what you get after Abyssal BKB. I feel like none of the choice. I really hate AC on Azure Heroes, dude.
Yeah, I was thinking about it in this game earlier that I ended up finishing it. I went MKB because they had an Alchemist and a Naga. and so it was just Radiance time all the time.
Yeah.
And so I just built an MKB, but I was thinking about AC briefly because I was like, oh, it's an elk. Like he's low armor. He didn't go armlet because he's an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, thinking of it to synergize with the Desta, like, okay, here's the only time you get MKB. If you're like, let's say you're against a Sven, or sorry, the only time you get AC. If you're against Sven and he does so much physical damage, and your only defense for his physical damage is Blur, and then he gets an MKB, and you're like, shit, I only have 20 armor. I'm an Agi hero, and I only have 20 armor. Then maybe you get AC. But it just seems like such a fucking waste to get AC on an Agi hero, especially PA. Like, you put so much of that money into the evasion. It doesn't help your burst when you W in at all outside of the -5 armor. It just, I don't know, dude. I guess it helps you kill supports, and it does help you push a lot because you can't press your W on towers. But anytime I think of going it, I'm like, what if I just had a fucking Manta, dude? Like, fuck off.
Yeah, and there's like diminishing returns, like you said, where it doesn't matter how much armor you have if they're missing you.
Yeah, like so if your blur is being effective, don't go AC for fuck's sake. If it's a Sven with an MKB or a Jug with an MKB, AC may be the thing to do. But one of the big issues with PA is as soon as you get to the point where like your blink in doesn't fuck them up, you're kind of afraid. So I kind of always want to be increasing my damage, but maybe I just don't have enough of a sense of how good the -5 armor or on AC is combined with the Deso. But to me, it just doesn't seem worth it. Like, I should probably try it sometime, but I'm so partial to Manta on this hero, honestly. Like, anytime I'm like, man, I need attack speed items. Fuck a Manta. I just get Manta.
Right. Okay, so just to kind of more quickly go over Omni, because he's a lot more formulaic, I'll say.
Man, Omni, I got fucking thoughts about your fucking item build on Omni. Not yours, but just the build that you should go.
Yeah, there are a lot of bad ones, we'll put it that way. But the general item build is Arcanes. A lot of people go both Arcanes and Soul Ring. I'm partial to that build.
Do it.
He's not
one. Do that.
He's not really a one or the other kind of hero. Like, some people go like Brown Boots and Soul Ring. Like, no, just build both. The nice thing you can do is you build Guardian Greaves unless your offlaner is a mech carrier. But in most games, you're going to be the Guardian Greaves carrier. The other nice thing is you can disassemble into Aether Lens. I've seen some good Omni players actually end up with Mana Boots and Aether Lens, and they sell the Soul Ring for a slot, and that way they're at the point in the game where like Soul Ring is less important because they have like the stats for it, but they have both rebuilt Mana Boots or Guardian Greaves and have an Aether Lens. Past that, though, I just, like most supports, you go a lot of mobility. Blink Dagger Omni is super good because he's not that fast inherently.
Yeah, I like Blink a lot.
Force Staff is just like a really good item in general. And past that, like Vladimir's is really strong on him just through the nature of like he's a melee hero, so he's going to be close to fights. He wants to help out his teammates. He doesn't really need items, so you can kind of fill the holes. Offlane Omni is a bit different. Skrunk, he does, what does he do? Like, he always goes Armlet for Armlet. He always goes Vlad's first, and then he usually builds Greaves. I actually have a Skrunk Omni game up right now. Let's see. This game, he built Greaves, and then normally goes Vlad's. This game we were dominating, so he went Radiance. Don't do that.
Don't go Radiance. I mean, actually, you want to have fun.
A bit different. Yeah,
and he just went mech first, and I feel like that may have been kind of dependent upon our strat, but like it's kind of similar to Abaddon offlane outside of when you start going like all damage and shit. Yeah. Like just started out with the fucking. Well, I guess it's not really similar at all. You build Vlad's. That's really the only similarity.
Yeah.
Although you do play it kind of similar. Like if you get points in degen or early on, like if you get maybe 2 points in degen, you can fuck some people up, man. Like Absolutely. Omni just fuck kids up. It's so good.
If they're like duo laning you and you're playing Omni offlane and like it's a Rubik or like a Disruptor or something trying to zone you, like just walk up and punch him, and then he's gonna have to run away from you. And if he doesn't, you repel him in his face, and then you just chase him down with degen. It's honestly like brutal to play against. It's one of those offlaners that when you lose to it, you feel like hurt as a human being.
Yeah.
Like every time I lose to Omni offlane, I'm like, man, this should have been so easy to punish, and we just didn't. He's very tanky, but regardless, we're gonna be playing him as a support this time. Almost certainly, unless for some weird reason I have to play him as offlane, which I'm comfortable as, but I prefer support Omni. Seal build wise, whether you're offlane or support, you're maxing purification first. It does
that'll be the first thing you
and
max.
A ton of heal.
But I think when you're off lane, there are a lot of situations where you want 2 points in degen aura.
Yeah. So I've seen offlaners in certain matchups, they go purification, degen always. That's generally the thing. Some people actually I've seen go degen first, which I think is weird. But they'll go
No,
like
that's a
degen
thing.
orb of venom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, if you look at purification, like it's a 90 damage, it's a 90 heal / 90 damage, and it's really hard to set up a purification to nuke anyways, unless you have degen or to slow them, right? So, just get the degen to get your level 2 up, and then you get your purification. Try to get that to 3.
Yep. Anyway, I've seen some offlane omnis. They will skip repel until like level 8. They just go like that super lane dominant 2 points degen. But that's kind of it depends on the matchup and all that. But for support, generally you're gonna go repel level 2, degen level 4. In certain games, I suppose you might like not get degen if you can really never get up in the face. But in the vast majority of games, I like 1 point degen. It's a great value point.
The thing about repel is, I mean, you need to think about when it's going to be useful. Like today, I was playing an Omni game, and we were against like an Enchantress off lane, and there's really no situation where I really care about my repel that much. Like, yeah, getting through the untouchable, but at the beginning, her untouchable didn't really matter, so I just got like purification, repel, or purification, degen, and then purification again. And the repel was only really useful when I was using it on enemies. Like if I ever was repelling myself, it was normally in the case that I was getting hit by magic nukes. And if that's the case, people are attacking me, right? So if I stopped running away in order to do my like fucking 2-second goddamn like Naruto hand sign wind up to get my repel off, like I'm just going to get right clicked down. So repel isn't actually that useful to use on yourself, especially if you're an offlaner trying to chase people down. And that's like when the duration is going to come into play. So like getting more points in repel when you're offlaning, definitely not really the play. It's really just like the heal to like burst you up real quick, do like a big health swing, like they're chasing you, then you turn around real quick and you're like, you've lost 360 health and I've gained 360 health. The tables have turned. And then they're like, oh shit, fuck, it's him. And that's great. But repel is never really going to do that for you until you have like supports rotating into your lane and you need to repel off like a CM Frostbite and shit like that.
Right. So on that note, I think we've gone over the heroes. I imagine we've gone very long. I didn't actually start a timer. Items. I already talked about it. You do your mech like Soul Ring.
Okay. I go Force Staff because you need that mana pool, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going for Soul Ring and mana boots, then like obviously Force Staff's great. But I like Blink if I can afford it. But also, I'm just a big player.
Yeah. It was a game I just played. I went fucking Arcane, Soul Ring, and then Yules, because there was like a CM that was ulting a lot. Yules was really good. Anytime I was getting gone on, I could just like fucking use all my defensive skills on my teammate and then just Yules myself. It was great.
And it makes you even faster, so like you can be even more oppressive. Yeah, it's solid. An early game, depending on the offlaner, or if you are the offlaner, Orb of Venom is quite solid on him because he can just run people down. Like it doubles up with degen aura quite well. But so those are the heroes. We're gonna hop into the game. We will, of course, be uploading both POVs. I believe that's what we're gonna be doing from now on. And you can view those on our YouTube channel, .ptd1. It's a numeric one.
Yep.
And okay. All right, hello everyone. We are back. We have just completed our game. It was a good one, and we won't be facetious about it. We won. It was a fun game, I would say. So we ended up playing with a 3-stack. So, it was us 2, and then on our team a 3-stack compared to us 2 and 3 solos. Which
I'm not sure if I would say we played with them, but we were definitely on the same team.
Yeah, it kind of changes the dynamic, I would say, and this is probably a larger conversation maybe for an entire segment sometime, but it definitely is a different game when you're playing in a 2-stack with 3 solos versus playing in a 2-stack with a 3-stack. Because like the 3 of us, all right, so I'll go over the teams first. The enemy team had Darkseer off lane, Spectre safe lane, Huskar mid, Ancient Apparition, Lion also in the safe lane as their tri lane. We had PA, which ended up being mid. We had a safe lane, Omniknight, Morphling. Elder Titan was roaming. He started top, though. He was top I would say he was more top lane than roaming. And we had an offlane Faceless Void. So obviously, by that description, we ended up putting the PA mid. We had a Morphling spammer on our team, so fortunately, like we were talking about with PA, she can go mid, so that's what we ended up doing.
Yep.
And you mid it against Huskar, and
yeah, that was interesting. It was it kind of looked bad at first, but I mean, I had my poor man shield, and he doesn't do that much damage at level 1, and I was just kind of like dagger spamming him, and eventually it got like a little bit much for him to handle because he didn't go bottle or anything. And actually, I managed to beat him out pretty well. And as soon as I got 6, I just like daggered and jumped on him before he was 6, and then that just kind of set the pace. And then I eventually got up to phase boots, and as soon as the phase boots were delivered, I just turned on the aggression, and he didn't expect it and just died immediately, and that was pretty fun.
Yeah, I just got sidetracked because I just realized that my MMRs match up like in a really weird way. My solo is 4-8-8-8, and my party is 4-4-4-4.
Well, not anymore. Not after that game.
No. After that game, it is 4-4-4-4.
I thought it was that before the game.
No. Oh my god, it was that before the game. I missed it.
I'm smarter than you.
Oh no, that's such a cool like number to have though. 4-8-8-8, 4-4-4-4. Anyway, sorry. Continuing. Yeah, your mid went pretty well, and like the Huskar honestly was like kind of an out of left field pick because like Omniknight is quite good against Huskar. Omniknight actually. One of the biggest takeaways that we didn't mention in the early game, Omniknight's an incredible counter to Darkseer, because I would just sit behind Morphling and just repel the creeps that he had Ion Shelled, and it purges Ion Shell. And he can actually cast an Ion Shell on an already repelled creep, but if the repel's on it and then you Ion Shell, or sorry, if the Ion Shell is on it and then you repel the enemy creep or your creep or whatever, or a hero for that matter, I suppose, you remove the Ion Shell. So that is a very hard counter because you're expending so little mana to completely neuter his lane.
Yeah, it's only 50 mana. It's crazy.
Yeah, like if you think Oracle is the counter to Darkseer, like in lane at least, play Omniknight against Darkseer. Although it did suck in the late game because as a melee support, like you get wrapped into vacuums. But anyway,
yeah, I mean, it's not like you're meleeing on Omniknight, but yeah.
It depends. I mean, he has pretty low range unless you have Aether Lens, which I didn't end up building this game. But
his spells are very low range, especially if me and Morphling are like diving in. You're like, well, you're fucking deep. I have to walk into all this shit just to touch you. Yeah,
until I had my Blink Dagger, I had a lot of issues with that. So I guess on that note, we can discuss item builds. Your item build was very interesting, so we're going to go into that more. So I'm going to say mine first. So for me, I went...
so you first,
I went Soul Ring, Windlace, Mana Boots. I had very, very, very bad farm in the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
I think I got my boots at like...
it
was rough. And like I didn't even have the boots until probably like 13 or something.
14, 52.
Yeah, exactly. It was rough. So like I said, I built those. Then I built Mech, and then I finished Greaves, and I bought Blink. And we were talking about this in the first place. I just buy Blink on a lot of heroes. That like if the choice between Blink and Force, generally my idea is I'm going to go Blink, but I keep Force on my quick buy. And if I'm going to die, I just buy the Force or buy parts of the Force. And in this game, I honestly would not have gone Force just because the mobility required would not be compensated for by Force stuff. Because you guys were so divey, like between Morphling and PA. And Morphling was doing this cool, I don't want to call it abuse, but this cool gimmick where ET would throw out his Ancestral Spirit, and Morphling can actually Boots of Travel to the Elder Titan Spirit. Kind of like traveling to like a Necro book summon or like a LD
Well, I mean, any hero can do that, but
Yeah. But it was really cool, especially with the Morphling, because he just shotgun people from like these like really weird things. And he went he went Hurricane Pike, which is great. Anyway, enough about him. So that was my item build, and I ended up going Pipe.
You got a Pipe at the end. Whatever.
Yeah, which wasn't super consequential, but the only real issue we were having was the AA had Ags, so that's just inherently an issue. And then also the Darkseer is making some really nice wall.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, to your item build, which started very standard and ended up being very interesting.
Yeah, I started with the Poor Man Shield because it was Huskar mid, which I definitely knew was going to happen. And he has a shit ton of attack speed, not a lot of plus damage. Like, yeah, his fire spears do a lot of damage, but until Armlet comes up, he really doesn't auto attack for any like actual physical damage. So I just got the Poor Man Shield. So it's like Poor Man Shield, Fairy Fire, Branch, standard shit. Got a bottle as soon as I could. Then straight into Phase Boots just to get that physical damage so that I could actually just burst down the Huskar, which was good. And then I was doing really well, so I opted not, and like my bottle regen was keeping me up. Plus we had an Omniknight if I ever did need a heal, which just really wasn't the case. So I opted to not go for Vlad's, and especially because we had a Faceless Void as well, so like he was probably gonna build the Vlad's, which I didn't even think about. But so I opted not to go for Vlad's, and I just went straight for the Deso.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. And I got it at 14 minutes, which is a pretty solid timing for a fucking mid PA to get a Deso. And they also had 2 squishy supports. They had Lion AA. So I figured, okay, also AA, the healing is going to be that necessary, and I need to burst down this Huskar. I don't really care too much about surviving for a long time. I just want to, like, fucking blink in, kill him in 3 attacks. So I rushed the Deso, and that worked really well. And then I figured the Vlads, like, I need to go Abyssal at some point. So if I doubled back for the Vlads, it didn't make much sense. So I just went straight for the Vanguard, and then sold my Poor Man Shield as soon as I finished the Basher. And then I combined them both into the Abyssal. Oh, sorry, coughing a little bit, which you should know something about. Yeah. So I got Phase, then Deso. I didn't even go Aquila because my bottle took care of my mana regen for the most part. So my bottle basically replaced both my Vlads and my Aquila, which let me go for the Deso like immediately. And then I got the Vanguard just because I needed some additional health because of they had like Lion with his fucking crazy ass burst, and they also had AA to stop me from getting healed up too much, so I needed something to be defensive. And then got the Basher, finished it into Abyssal, and if I didn't have an Omni there, I definitely would have gone for BKB, but we didn't. And I was looking at the team, and they have Spectre and Huskar, which I'm sure they both picked because Slark was gone, so there wasn't like a standard Silver Edge carrier, but I decided to build Silver Edge, and actually really, really liked it. Like we were saying earlier about how like Butterfly seems like it would be so good on PA, just like the raw stats of it. Obviously the evasion sucks, but you just want like some damage and some attack speed. Like PA really needs both after your Deso, and Basher. Like she does a shit ton of damage, but you need a little bit of extra attack speed for when your W isn't up. Otherwise you're just fucking shit. And Shadowblade isn't quite 60 damage, 60 attack speed. But it's actually kind of close. It's 30 damage, 30 attack speed, and 15 to all attributes. So the 15 agi is effectively, 15 damage, 15 attack speed. So it's a bit less damage and attack speed, but it does have the break and the bonus attack damage to like help you do that, crazy burst down. And also it can work as an escape. So even just like the flat Shadowblade was pretty good, but upgrading to the Silver Edge, I felt like a really complete hero. Like I killed the Spectre in a W, just like in one burst combo. I killed the Spectre, which is pretty unheard of at 40 minutes or whatever. What did Spectre end with? This was like the kill that kind of ended the game. Spectre had Radiance, Manta Style, a Diffusal Blade, and a Reaver. So it wasn't like this was a squishy Spectre who just went like Radiance, Manta, and then died. This was like that the Spectre had a Reaver and she lost the Vanguard at that point, but yeah, it was a tanky Spectre, and the Silver Edge made him just melt. So I'm thinking next time I play Spectre and I finish my Abyssal, or I have my Deso Abyssal finished, and BKB. Maybe I'll go Shadowblade or Silver Edge after that. People always talk about how good, or not always, but people often say that the value of a late game Silver Edge or Shadowblade is actually really, really high, because that's when people start running out of slots. Like your mid player isn't going to have a slot for a Dust at 45 minutes.
It definitely is. I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think it was really strong this game and could be even more strong in other games. Actually, not really. This is kind of like the perfect game for it.
Yeah, no, like it definitely was the pick here. I'm just wondering if it would be good in other games too.
I think it definitely has its merits, just like pure stat wise. Like Silver Edge, you already detailed it, but I think it has a lot of potential if you don't need a different item, especially if you haven't had to build BKB. Like, oh man, I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I think it needs some like theory crafting and testing, but I think it has potential for sure. Does it? It doesn't function like Legion ult, where I say it doesn't, but I'm asking the question. Do you think if you W onto somebody while Silver Edged, will that first hit from the W proc Silver Edge? or
It should
not?
break it. I think if you W, your first hit won't silver edge, but
Okay,
I mean, I
that's
can
what I'm
test
thinking.
that real quick. That's pretty easy to test.
Yeah, I'm quite certain that it doesn't work, but if it did work like that, it'd be really cool. Because I know dual works like that, but
Yeah,
I think that's just because it triggers or it casts with an auto attack, whereas your W casts independently, and it just like
I
sets you
didn't
up for the
actually
auto
know
attack.
that worked for Legion. That's
Oh
interesting.
yeah,
So if you
it's
duel someone while you're Shadow Bladed, you'll get the Shadow Blade strike in.
yep, it's really good.
Huh.
It's
That's pretty
quite
crazy.
strong. Yep. That's actually one of the big reasons why Shadowblade is like edges out Blink in some games. Is because of that mechanic. Like they just have no time to react.
Yeah.
Kind of like
That's pretty good.
it's like when you're invis and you pudge ult, or like you're invis and you do other abilities that
Yeah.
like the cast point, you remain invis during the cast point. Anyway, let's talk about like the actual flow of the game. I know you said
Doesn't
like you
work.
describe your mid lane. Okay, it doesn't work. All right, I thought it didn't work, so I'm glad I'm.
Yeah, that sucks. But yeah, I mean, what
glad
I
it
would end up doing is I would blink strike on someone and then right click them, or if I was stealthing through the jungle, I'd right click on them, then like abyssal them and then blink strike, etc., etc.
Yeah, I mean it's still good regardless.
You
but if
have
it did
enough
work,
tools on the hero, you can make it work.
yeah, and if it did work out of W, that would be like
That'd be
god
fucking
tier,
broken,
honestly.
dude.
Yeah, that would be broken. All right, so our landing phases, I think we already kind of went over. Once we like actually got into the bulk of the game, this wasn't like a super long game or anything, but it was pretty back and forth for a good while. Well, how did you feel about these fights in general? I know we had like a couple throwy fights where,
Yeah,
and this is what we were talking about, where like we were playing as a 2-stack and they were playing as a 3-stack. The three of them were functioning independently of us. I would say like they were functioning as like a 3-man squad and we were functioning as a 2-man squad.
yeah, absolutely.
And there wasn't a lot of coordination. And that was an issue for sure during certain pushes and other things like that. And the Morph did get very ahead, so he had the potential to do stuff like that, and it was working. Like he would just like shotgun combo the AA or the line, and they would just instantly be dead.
Yeah, it very easily though, like in any other game, could have not worked, and just
because
like there was one time where I think we like killed someone and then we're getting back and then we just looked at the bottom and we're like, are we raxing right now? Like, are we in the middle of taking a barracks? Like, I didn't know that was the thing we were in the process of doing.
Yeah.
But it was just like random shit like that would transpire. Like Morphling would just kind of go in and die and we're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. And like, we had some issues and it's not super relevant to us in the show, but like the Faceless Void had some like impressively bad chronos.
Yeah.
Like the kind of chronos where if the enemy team had made it, I'd be like, wow, that's a really good chrono, except he made it. And like
there were two separate occasions where he chronoed our core in, either me or Morphling, and kept Huskar on the edge. So the Huskar just finished a kill and we were just like, well, that didn't help.
Yeah. He did that with Spectre once too. And I was just like it's actually amazing. Like maybe he's training for like because if he was on the other team, they would have been really good chronos. But regardless,
training to be like the next match fixer.
Yeah.
Okay, just got to get these perfect bad chronos.
We can't affect him. Anyway, like honestly, I'm pretty happy with it. It kind of renewed. So Omniknight used to be like one of my most played heroes when I was newer at Dota, and I don't even know, and I don't care enough to look it up, but I haven't played Omniknight in probably a year at least. Like maybe at least 6 months, I'll say. Like the hero is really good. Like I think I picked him a bit in the OD Omni patch when I was like really desperate and like because I remember I was on a big losing streak during that patch. And at one point I was just like, I don't care. Like if something picks OD, I'm gonna pick Omni. And I was actually losing with that, ironically. But it kind of renewed my interest in Omni. And like my renewed interest in Dazzle has also come up recently. Like I need to go back to healing supports other than Oracle. Like man, it's just so good.
No, I love Omni. He's one of the most fun supports for me. Like Omni and Treant. I know you saw me playing a Treant game. You're like, what the fuck? Why are you playing Tree? But yeah, Omni and Treant are both so much fun. So I'm in agreement with you there. Omni is just really fun to play, honestly.
And he's really good too, which helps. Like we were talking about, I don't know if I brought up in the first section, but I brought up in the VOD. He has a 61% win rate, like in pubs overall. That's insane. That is like it is actually absurd. Like if you think about it, like I over the course of all my games, have a 53% win rate. And, like, that's pretty good. That's actually very good.
Yeah.
Like, if you're over 51, like, that takes a lot of time.
Dude, it's
like,
in all
imagine how
brackets
Omni...
too. In 4K
Yeah.
to 5K, it's down to 40 to 60. But at, like, 5K plus, it's 41.5. Like, that's insane.
Yeah. The hero is just so good. Like, I felt unstoppable. And, like, he's really bad if you're behind and, like, you get punished. But odds are in most of your pub games, that's not going to happen. And you have the hero is just so good, honestly. And, like, he can farm decently well. Like, once you're level 7 and you have a soul ring or mana boots or both, you could just walk and, like, take camps. And
when I pub
so
Omni, I build Iron Talon a lot, and it fucking helps so much.
I was actually thinking about that. I was killing a couple of neutral camps, and that would have been really helpful.
Yeah,
kind of like
because
what you do on Treant.
Yeah, I do the same thing on Treant. But think about the thing that, like, the big nerf to stacks was that they increased their magic damage resistance, and Omni is pure. So if you just, like, get an Iron Talon, you can honestly just clear stacks.
It's really solid. That's what I did. I cleared a stack, and I was just like, oh boy, if I had an Iron Talon, this would have been way fast.
Because I mean, if you just chunk out the big creep, do a heal on yourself, auto attack the big creep, one more heal, and, like, the camp's cleared every time.
Yep. So I mean, I'm kind of happy and completed with this game. Do you have any more comments before we hop out?
I'm pretty good. PA and Omni is OTP, so it's good.
It's really good. Like, honestly, I don't want to say it's, like, one of the best combos as far as, like, one hero compensating for the other's weaknesses, but it's up there. Like,
the laning is a little bit weak, but if you do go a lot of mana regen on PA, you can basically do the harassing all by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely punishable, but I think overall it's a very strong combo. And, like, if you have one friend and you want to just, like, play a bunch of really fun games, like, just play Omni PA with them. Like, it's just a good time.
And then you can, like, find all the fan art of, like, PA and Omni together, and then, like, upload it somewhere, and then tag each of you as the heroes, and then you guys can, like, feel cute.
Yep. Or you can, like, make it yourself. That'd be really impressive.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we all break to draw our fan art, let's talk about plugs. First of all, we have the VOD up on YouTube channel, youtube.com/.ptv1. I lied in the first part, and I did not end up recording my section. Honestly, it's way more boring than Proud's because he's playing PA, and I played a very poor Omni.
Not a bad Omni, just a poor Omni.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it went well. It's just, Omni is fairly rote and simplistic. Also, I was coughing the whole time, so it would not be fun to listen to. That's why I didn't record it. Anyway, but you can watch plenty of other stuff there. Fafnir recently put up his replay review of a Medusa game. I watched it. It was quite good. It was a Cyphus game, so, it's relevant to anybody that enjoys the Monday show or the Wednesday show. Anyway, we also have Twitch, twitch.tv/.ptv. We're on that all the time. Proud streams a ton. I'm getting back into streaming now that I'm feeling much better. And we, of course, have the in-houses hosted by Gorto. And it's solid. They're fun. They're a good time. We are finishing recording right after they've ended. And they're always fun. So come hang out. Be a nice guy or gal and, play. It's a good time. Can't complain. I try to get in a game when I can. We have a website, defensepations.com. On the upper right-hand corner, you can, as I'm sure you may have heard earlier in our in Roland's spot, which he may or may not have interjected in the middle of our show, you can find our survey. We are, if you want to help us, please do it. It is very helpful, honestly. I mean, as Cyphus has said previously, if, half of you take 30 seconds, and we'd be done very quickly. Let's just put it that way. We appreciate it greatly. And it really helps us grow and provide more free, fun content for everybody. We have Twitter. I'm at Ursinity. Proud is at Proud Dota. At @P_show is our overall Twitter. We have an Amazon banner on our website as well if you'd like to support us, and a Patreon, patreon.com/Defense of the Patients. All that kind of stuff helps us. It's
you can find Flub at Flub Dota with 2 B's.
You can also find that. And on Reddit, we post everything, or rather, Jay Gucci posts everything. And
God bless him.
r/Defense of the Patients. He made a very, very funny, grouty, like pictographic meme. It was pretty quality. And we have Discord where you can find all the stuff like that and hang out with us, talk to us, etc. I'm on Discord pretty much anytime I'm not asleep. I'm on Discord. And you can find that on defenseofthepatients.com/ladder. Or I don't know what the actual URL is, but if you click ladder on Defense of the Patients after you've done the survey, you can access that. And last but not least, iTunes reviews are another way to help us get our name out there, help us grow, etc., etc. And if it's about us, we would love to read it on the show. If it's about another show, I'm sure they would love to read it on that show. So that's about it for me. Remember, this has been our theory.
Shut up. Shout out to Jam Kicker and Ham and everyone else who watched the stream.
Oh yeah, the stream's been kicking. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've been streaming a shit ton. I'm starting school now, so I might stream a bit less, or a lot less, or maybe a bit less. Who knows? But yeah.
But I'll be streaming more. Now I'm back to my
increase the quality of the stream a little bit.
It will even out. And Roland also streams, although he's streaming a little less because he has like adult responsibilities like a child and
escape rooms. Yeah, what a fucking adult responsibility.
It's a job. Anyway, thanks for listening. Remember, everybody, this has been our theory, and if you mess up, it's probably because of bad Coronas.